Paula.
Hello and welcome to the Empath X community call. So excited to be here. I'm Jeremy. I am delighted to let you know that we exist as a community without conditions, where we invite everyone to bring what's uniquely theirs, their joy, their jubilee, their expression of creativity, or just their presence, just the curiosity of a conversation. If you are interested in all of these conversations, we've got a whole gambit of information, data, stuff over at empathx.org. You can find a schedule, you can find an archive, you can find a place to make a contribution, you can find a Facebook group, Instagram. There's all sorts of good stuff over there. Each week, we lead with a quick little teaching element that we rotate through who teaches that, and then drop off the recording to have a wonderful community conversation. And so with great glee and device of joy beaming from my heart, I invite Doug onto the call. Hi, Doug.
It's a pleasure to be here. I've I've looked forward to this conversation because of its simplicity, but I have full faith that as we uh, take apart our understanding, it will end up in smiles in your heart to realize how much you know already, how far along we are on the process. I think my point tonight is to magnify the simplicity of spiritual growth. And for those of us who spent 50 years of going through one book after a class, after another conversation, and then realizing that life brings you these situations that actually bring to the surface anything you need to understand. This, we're in a great place where everything's coming to you that you need for this time. And I don't know of anything that's helped me more in my process than the deep dive into love and judgment. And the two are in actuality opposites, because we think of love as something, we think about it as ways of behavior. We think about it as, from the standpoint of how other people treat us and how we treat other people. But love is a choice that we make moment to moment. And because of our programming and because of the fact that our subconscious mind still controls 95 to 98% of the choices we make, the foods we eat, the places we go, the people we hang out. So much of that is based on the element of comfort and the element of that are all based on judgments. And I would love for today for us to have a moment or two to talk about what life would be like if love were the driving force in all of your decisions. Hmm. And I'll be honest with you, it's not. I've met a lot of people, and I've know a lot of wise people. I'm kind of one of the wise ass people. that's I've been exposed to wisdom, but that doesn't mean that I always apply it. And so the conversation today is going to be start with the times that we're actually using judgment to make our decisions, as opposed to love to influence our decisions. And there's those words are helpful to take apart. if 85 or 95% of your decisions are made based on a feeling, the feelings are controlled by the subconscious mind. That is crystal clear to somebody who has wanted simple answers to complex questions.
Mm.
Uh, the the Christian faith is a wonderful tool, but it still puts into your hands the necessity of your making choices. And I'd like to bring to the surface for our conversation uh, when we are using love as a choice point or focus on love, and when we're using judgment, because most of the time we're using judgment and don't understand that's what's going on. We're we're trying to make a quick decision about what's the most comfortable. Okay, that decision made in love is going to uh, uh, be variable for everybody.
Mm.
And if this is, yeah, my brother is making his first appearance.
Welcome,
Welcome, Bob.
Robert. Glad to have you here, Bob.
He's welcome. So the conversation, well, make yourself at home. The conversation at that we're having today is really a simple one. If love and judgment are the primary two choices we make in our decision making, and decision making uh, goes into almost every level of your life,
Mm.
having having a clear vision of that process is going to be helpful. So, what's an example of a time you've used uh, judgment to make a decision, as opposed to a time you genuinely use love to make a decision?
That's an easy one for me, man. I think it's usually in I know, and that subset in my body is that I'm resisting some sort of thing. I love what Brian says. It's what I think is happening and what I prefer. and 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 that resistance is like noticing that my knowing is that judgment of this thing that I think I know already, and I'm already full of the knowing. So how can that come in? And so, oh, got it. And to me, that love is like the surrender to I that I know it's going to work out. That faith in I don't know what's going to happen. And my last thing I'll say is it drives that curiosity in me to go do something to see if it could be different.
Cool. Well, that you're hitting on a key point that we'll get to in a little while. Brian, what was your comment?
Well, I was going to just use the example of when Karen and I got together.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we'd known each other for 30 years. We were friends, and she had a knowing that there was something special going on.
Hmm.
And I wasn't really sure, and she's hiding now behind the tablet. But when when we decided to check out what was possible, there was no reasons. There was no reasonability. There was no judgment. It's like we both just knew that we knew that this was it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no justification, you know? And you brought up this thing about uh, the decisions we make. And years ago, I was in a course and a guy was saying that the difference between, well, like he said, decide. It's like, what's the root word? The root of decide is CIDE, which is like suicide, genocide, insecticide. It means to kill something off. So when you decide, you're eliminating all other possibilities and literally killing off everything else. But when you choose, you're choosing from a whole range of possibilities, and you're not having to remove anything else. You're free to make a choice.
Mhm.
And the freedom that comes with that is beyond reasons or doubts or wonders or any of that brain stuff. And you're just choosing with all the other possibilities still available. And so there's no judgment about which one and why and all of that. Like when you know that you know, then you just know that you know that you know.
Mm, mm,
The the key we're getting down to is one that has fueled my entire 50 years in a spiritual growth process, because understanding the difference in judgment and love is not determinant of somebody else's choices and decisions.
mm,
That
mm,
would be a mistake on my part to do that. Our programming is to make judgments regularly, but after judge, in my opinion, we're going to spend the rest of our lives refining our ability to separate love, choices made from love and judgment. And I'm not saying judgment's bad. It is the system we were given through the law of survival to actually to be here and have complete lives. But the spiritual process of setting aside judgments that are um, uh, no longer need to dominate.
mm.
When you're 5 years old and you're told not to cross the street without looking both ways, that really is it's a good decision to help the child with. And some of us still go to the street and look both ways and don't even think about it anymore because that served us well.
Mm.
And some of us don't do that so often.
Paula, you want to jump in there?
Well, okay, mine is different though. I think my decision stemmed more out of love for myself.
Mm.
Um, and I'll tell you what I mean is, so my car just had this major problem all of a sudden, $2,835 worth.
Mm.
Oh.
And this, yeah, and this young guy I had been talking to at work said he knew a lot about cars, and we talked, and he did, but he said he would fix it for me. Well, I was like, okay, because he wanted to do a business, start a business doing this because he was working really just a side job at the VA. He was a veteran. And anyway, so I thought, okay, I'll help him. He sounds like he knows about cars. Um, he didn't show up the first two times I bought the parts. He didn't show up till like 2 and 3 hours later. And I thought, okay, well, he does know about cars. So let's just see. He spent so many hours looking at my car, and $500 later, he didn't even know what was wrong, or he wasn't. And then I still thought, I still thought, okay, well,
Mm.
I've got this other part where we think it is. And sometimes I can be too nice. And so he said, okay, he would come and fix it on Thursday. So Thursday night, and plus it's been a week and a half and I haven't had my car. So Thursday, he texts me that he's too busy tonight and he's too busy Friday night. And maybe he'll have to leave it till Saturday. And I just was like, okay, this is a decision I'm making now. Forget it. I need to have my car fixed. And I'm not judging him. I'm not even mad at him. I just can't do that anymore because it wasn't working out for me. It was more like, okay, I've got to take care of this for me. So it's a little different, but I guess what are your thoughts on that?
I think what you're going through was a conscious choice, which is the love side.
Yeah.
The love side takes all the information that you have into consideration. And some of that information changed as he attempted to do the repairs and took a long time. So we, if we're if we're on the love side of a decision making, you actually did exactly what makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But I think the point for me is deeper than individual choices we make. I'm not going to sit here and try to determine for somebody else what their love-based or fear-based decision was. That's not it's not in my consciousness
Yeah.
to be there. But I will promote everybody learning to use love as a barometer in the decisions they make. Because the truth is that we have an incredible mind that we use very haphazardly, and through the pineal gland we are given information that is beyond reason, and it is based on feelings in the body. And a love-based decision oftentimes uses the wisdom of the bodies reflecting on that, not the mental side exclusively, but the mind and body working together to actually point towards a decision that's really love-based. Because you can have the decision that's the church has told you how to think, and you could be in a great place, and I'm going to make the decision the way I was taught in church. But in the moment, in invoking the body's wisdom is always going to be a better whole brain decision. And we're in a real exciting time to be alive.